I'm here with Moira Evans talking about web making policies. So what are mediated policies?
Okay, so what we've got as a result of the internet and the web coming into fruition is that there's a lot of policies being created that are arising as a result of the web, either indirectly through the use of data that's coming through the web. So, for example, the government's transparency agenda pretty much uses a lot of data that's hopefully, well, it's not exactly lying around free to be used, but it's in the process of being created a lot of the time. Or there's other policies that are basically being brought to into being as a direct result of people actually sort of doing and working and committing crimes on the web. So web-mediated policies actually tries to, when I'm sort of creating this sort of framework for looking at this range of policies, I'm trying to say, is there a way of being able to analyse not just one specific type of policy, but a range, all of which have something to do with the web. So.
And your poster talks about needing the corporate world, the media world, and the people themselves to create these policies. And how do these factors, how are they used to create your method?
Okay, what this is to do with really is stakeholders understanding who the actors are that feed into any sort of policy-making process. So what we've got traditionally in policy creation processes is there's an understanding that there are certain sorts of people who will probably feed into policy creation process, and they might be, again, they could be corporates, they could be MPs, they could be the media, they could be governments, NGOs. There's all sorts of different people who generally sort of have input, but that input is necessarily quite limited. So what my framework is about is actually trying to use the web itself to get a much broader understanding of the sorts of discussions that are going on. So, for example, I use network analysis to gather, well, within the prototype, there's about 40,000 links, and then I analyse them to see where the most important and influential conversation seems to be taking place, and then create a comparison between that sort of discussion and what's actually the discussion that's sort of feeding into the government policy creation process. So in that way, I'm trying to get much more of an understanding, a capture of the actual movement of the web, the stuff that's actually taking place on the web, rather than the sort of more static sort of policy creation process.